Hi, I'm Randall from Randall's ESL Cyber Listening Lab, providing tips on language learning, culture, and human development. And this broadcast, I have been thinking about during this past week of how and what has been the impact of teachers in our own lives. And I think one of the interesting things that we often find, I think all of us have been inspired by people who have taught us different skills, people who have helped us see the world in different ways beyond our egocentric worldview, and people who have guided and comforted us during the most difficult times of our lives. And I think in many ways, these people I consider life guides, that they are the changing agent in our lives that have helped us grow. And I think these people, these teachers, could be a parent, a friend, a mentor, even a stranger that influence and inspire us to be better students, better friends, and better world neighbors. And I think many of us have seen something like this, the rippling effect of a small pebble being dropped in a pond or a puddle, and these small wakes that this creates simply radiate out. And I think in a cascading and really a rhythmic motion, affecting everything in its wake. And I think in so many ways, all of us will become teachers in our own right, impacting the lives of others in different ways, in different capacities, even when we don't become. And I think that idea is the focus of the episode today, is making a difference in people's lives. So in this episode, I have the great privilege of interviewing three really inspiring people. And I think they're going to be sharing their stories, and we're going to see threaded connections of these stories, and the combined narrative of their stories, I think, will help elevate us to become better people. And that is the focus of the episode today. In preparation for this episode, and again, feel free to be sharing your experiences, your stories, your thoughts and experiences. We have more people that are joining. Blanca from Ecuador, another from Tunisia, Clyde from Colombia. Wow, you have a lot of people that are joining. Ken from Vietnam. Mused, would it be possible to have specific topics to improve our English language? And we've had a number of episodes that have done that. Certainly, we'll try to share ideas today. And Elizabeth from Bolivia. Again, so thank you very much. One of the things that in preparation for this episode, I received a number of comments about people and their teachers, and I want to share those, and I think this will be a great introduction to the episode today. First of all, Farel from Tunisia said, I will never forget my 9th grade teacher, Miss Swasen Abid. She tried to involve her students, and she tried to involve me. However, I was a little shy and tried to escape from participating, but she tried to convince me that I'm a very intelligent girl and I can become a leader and encourage me. I'll never forget her words. Pau from Costa Rica said, my mom, Hanaya Siciliano, was my mathematics teacher, and she has been my inspiration for life. And how she teaches math with passion, is always kind, and makes things look simple and enjoyable. Her dedication has changed many lives, and that's a wonderful tribute. Another student from Tunisia, Malek, says, I'm 19 years old, I'm a student at college, and I want to express my gratitude to my philosophy teacher, who was always there for me to push me forward, to lift my morale when it got down, and to encourage me with words that would be stuck in memory forever. Miss Mona, who I think is listening today, my English teacher, has her own way to make you love English. She's so dynamic and full of energy. She always spreads positivity and works hard to broaden her students' perspective of things. Thank you, Miss Mona, for everything. It was an honor to be one of your students. So in today's episode, what we're going to be learning about is not just about teachers who have inspired their students, but people who have inspired other people as well. So what we'd like to do, and I encourage you throughout the broadcast to share your experiences being inspired by others, teachers of all kinds throughout the broadcast. And what we're hoping is that we see threaded connections between these three speakers. We're going to listen to each one of them telling their story individually, and then we're going to bring them back together to share some final words. So let's go ahead. Yep, it looks like now it's all clear. So thank you again, guests. So let's go ahead. Maria, let's talk a little bit about your story.
So it's a pleasure to be here, to share this episode with you and all the other guests, and also to say that I loved your tie.
Okay, you got Brazil there.
We got Brazil. Okay, so I'm Brazilian. I'm originally from Brazil, and I grew up in São Paulo. It's the biggest capital here in Brazil, and I went to school and then I went to university as well. So there are many things in my life that were, inspired me to these situations. So I worked as a teacher in regular schools, and then also giving classes one-to-one, face-to-face students. Now with the situation now is online, it's really great. And went to college, College of Arts, and with translation and interpretation. And then I decided to be a teacher. And then I took a degree in English and in Portuguese. And Brazil is a big country, São Paulo as well. And what's unique about this country is that the diversity. So many people from different places, different countries, different cities. And then we have lots of festivals and so many things that really you would enjoy to come and visit the country.
Oh, well, great. So let's talk a little bit of that. How did you actually get into teaching? Again, as I mentioned, we were talking, was it something that you first decided upon early on? Were you inspired by a teacher early on? How did that come about?
When I was in school, so it was back, when you look at that 60s and 70s, it was really different because we didn't have this interaction that we do now with teachers. So we like it because the subject was really great. But there were those teachers who were kind and, passionate, and they would be in a different way, not following the rules of the school or as a teacher. And then as you mentioned before, sometimes we had some teachers who open your books, English at that time, open your books on page 25, let's correct exercise 3, and we'd go following the lines and the files in the class. So you first, and the second, and then the 3. So there was no interaction. But I liked the language.
Great.
Then I was in high school. Also, there were some teachers in art, like geography, history. They were more, passionate. They had more, they interacted more with us. And then finally, at college, I had some great teachers. They were dynamic. They were really close to us. Even a teacher I had, Mario, he had the lab, the laboratory is a class. So we interacted a lot. And also another teacher, Valdez, with literature. So they were really kind and passionate. So that was when I decided at college to take the degree in English and then in Portuguese as well. And then so on, I started teaching for more than 25 years now.
Oh, great. Just a couple of comments. A couple of people have asked if we're going to bring on Hakima because we were having an audio issue, and the answer is yes. We'll be interviewing her again in a couple minutes. So let's talk just a little bit about those people. You mentioned a little bit about your background, a little bit about some teachers that you had that inspired you. How about a little bit about family that might have inspired you as well in different ways?
Yes, so there are many people, but when you see the picture on the left, me and my father, you can see the way I'm looking at him like he was a god. He was someone really special to me. He was really resilient, and he was there for us, for me and my sister as well. So all the time, very passionate and understanding. And then that's me in the park. So we used to go every Sunday to the park, and then we used to talk, and we were really close. So that was something very interesting because he was dynamic and he didn't stop doing, and he loved his job. So that was kind of thing that really inspired me to be strong, to follow, to pursue what I like, even in difficult moments. But your passion for the job you've got, or the thing you've embraced to live on.
Right. And I think you
After
mentioned
work,
about being passionate, being dynamic, I think are key words, I think, in the conversation as well.
yes, because I think that's it. Sometimes you are so far away from a person, you fall apart, you don't talk, there is no, relation. And then we had, it was a partnership and it was really nice. And I was really close to him. And then the next picture is my graduation at a religious school here in Sao Paulo. And it was in elementary school. So nowadays, 9th grade, at the time, 8th grade. And it's a time, I recall, and it was really nice, many memories. And then the next one, it's me in high school, about to finish one of those steps in life. And then the next one, I was about teaching as well. I had been teacher for 5 years and so, and then also as a teacher training. So telling students, teachers, sorry, to how to address the class, how to be dynamic, how to improve, not following the book, but also how to use activities in the book to join, to complement. And then I was it's a teacher training, and I was preparing myself for an event in São José do Rio. No, sorry, in Ribeirão Preto. It's a 400 kilometers city from São Paulo, but it's São Paulo itself, so it's really big.
Okay. Well, you've talked about growing up, you talked about some of your teachers, you talked about your father and his inspiration and so forth. Are there any other people that have been either colleagues or others that have had an impact on your profession or on your personal life, just as a guide in different ways?
Of course, I have so many of them. But there is also one of them I've worked with for long years. I don't know if she is listening to us, but it's Luciana Calisto. Is someone that I'm really thankful. She gave all the tools and everything I needed to teach. And then after that, being teaching, but then I joined her in her school, language school. And then I taught for a long time in many companies and developing many ways of teaching. So that was something that, inspired me as well. And also my son, he's a 30-year-old guy, and also he inspired me in the way he thinks, the way he does. And we were very close, and what, gave me to be stronger and then go after that. And also what's unique about me, I would say, is that when teaching regular schools, I love teaching teenagers and young adults, 9th grade and also high school. I love them, the way they think, the way, even the fun they make. And I think I'm on the same level. And it helped me a lot to bring up my son also during time of school. And we were very close because I could live the same way, and to treat him with my students. I learned a lot from them, and it helped me a lot.
And I think that idea of learning together, I think, is really important. What I want to do is I want to look at some comments that have come in regarding some of the thoughts that Samaya says, your story is inspiring. We're studying all of the time. That is wonderful. Lubna says, obviously, my family members and my teachers have come to it true. Good morning from Mexico as well. And Another Hakeem Mahidi, really proud of you, dearest friend. Even though I couldn't hear you, we're going to try to bring her on because her story is so important. Mona says, thank you, Melik, responding to an earlier comment that came up. And all the others are of real wealth in Tunisia. Another Carlos from Venezuela sharing, and again, a lot of different comments of supporting teachers and so forth. Mona says, Maria Teresa, bravo to your comment. Lorena says, I realize how important and inspiring our teachers in our lives. Perhaps you aren't able to see that. Well, I think depending
And
on
Luciana is here. Luciana is there.
Okay, right. Oh, is this?
Yeah, she says, I'm here, Mate. So that's the way she calls me.
Oh, okay. So family.
It's a short name. And then she says, I've worked with her and I was an outstanding colleague.
Oh, well, that's really nice to hear. I think colleagues really make a difference when they work and they support one another in so many ways. And this is Luciana, right? Has worked with me, was an outstanding colleague. We were a great team. And
then we are friends now. She's been living in Florida now. She's got a master's degree, in education. Okay. And she's, an inspiration as well ever, because she's been all the time pursuing something. And as we do, as teachers, we have to move on, to go on, and always studying and learning with people. I think that's people are the books of our life,
Right. So, absolutely. So Maria Teresa, thank you for sharing your story. And we're going to bring you back in a few minutes with the others for the closing thoughts. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Hakima, let's try this. Do you have your headphones on? Okay, so anyone who is watching the broadcast, if you could just comment to make sure that we can hear Hakima okay, and then Hakima, you get to redo the story. I enjoy the story, and I think everyone will be motivated. So anyone who is out there, if you could comment to make sure that, Hakima, can you say a couple things so that... Yes. Okay, so Hakima, some people are still saying they cannot hear your voice. Should be talking from far away. Let's just check, everyone. Anyone? It's still no sound. I'm not sure. No sound. Let's do this, Hakima. What we're going to do is we're going to bring still no sound. Let's have you join with your phone. Is that all right? Let's try that. So I'm going to bring you back, no problem, and we'll get that phone. So thank you very much. And Hakima, you're going to have to do it a third time. So no problem. We'll bring you back. Again, thank you very much for mentioning that. We want to make sure she's going to join back with her phone to make sure. So right now we're going to bring in our next guest and have her introduce herself, and we'll go from there. So again, thank you very much. I know that all of our guests have been preparing, and we want to make sure that everyone has that voice, and so we'll bring her back in. So let's go ahead and bring in our next guest. So why don't we go ahead and introduce yourself, and we'll go ahead and go from there.
Hello. First of all, I am so honored to be your guest, Mr. Randalls, and I am so happy to be with Mrs. Hakima and Mrs. Maria and you guys who are watching this. So my name is Sirim Benoor. I am 22 years old. I am North African, specifically from Tunisia. I am a master's degree student and I major in finance, and I'm intending to study MBA in Canada. And the little special thing about me is that I do those kind of small videos about English vocabulary. So if you're interested, go and check my page.
All right. And thank you. And everyone chime in if you can hear Sadine. We want to make sure that Sadine is heard, because Sadine, I don't think you want to give this 5 different times, but we want to make sure. It says, Louise says, I can hear clearly in my phone. So that's great to hear. And again, we want to bring in Hakeem in a few minutes. So, and things like this happen. We know that. So let's go ahead and you did a personal interaction. So let's talk our other two guests are teachers. You are a current student. So if you could just tell us a little bit about those people who have shaped your life.
So my whole environment is an inspiration for me, actually, especially my family, my teachers, my friends, and the organization that I work in. So these are my family. My family is my everything. My two older brothers and my parents, of course, they are the apple of my eyes. They have made me learn a lot when it comes to like personal achievements and everything. They have like make me really proud of myself to belong to that family. They have been through a lot, and that's what pushed me actually to chase my dreams and to compensate on whatever they have lived before.
And it looks like you're a very tight-knit family. You have two brothers.
Yeah.
They seem very, like a very affectionate and supportive family, and that's wonderful. And that's, I think, what we're asking also is for teachers to be, whatever
Yeah.
you're teaching is to be in that same way. You also talked a little bit about some other family.
Yeah, my cousin. My cousin is a sister to me because I don't have sisters. I am the youngest girl in the house. So she's my sister, she's my supporter, and she's always here to fix whatever I have done wrong, She's always there. She's my refuge.
Yeah, I think you're being honest and very open that we all make mistakes, and people that are very
Yeah.
supportive of those situations can be really, really helpful. And that's great
Yep.
to know.
Yes.
And then let's talk a little bit. I'm just looking. People are. We have Samia. Bravo, Sadine.
My mom.
Oh, is that your mom?
Yeah.
Let's all wave. Let's all wave to your mom. Bravo. All right. Wasif, that's your brother, right?
My brother.
Wasif. Which one is he in the picture?
Okay, so the one who is kissing me is my older brother. His name
Okay.
is Haitham, and the second one is with my family. The one
Okay,
with my
so
family, which is Wasif.
All right. And that's great. And Riyadh says, you're amazing. And we're going to find out why. Bravo. Fatma says, well done. Wasef says, good, Sadine. Lubna says, Sadine, nice family. So let's talk a little bit more. I mean, these are great. And this is what we're looking for is support. So you mentioned your family has been a support to some of your dreams and so forth. And you mentioned, if I may ask, you're going to be studying and getting an MBA.
MBA, yeah.
In finance. I think that's your concentration. What kind is leading? What has been the impetus or kind of force, the influence to go in that particular direction?
Well, my first target is to start a business, and I feel that the MBA is my way actually to like go into that world and start my own business. So that's why I chose like the MBA.
Okay. And you also, I think something is important. You mentioned your family, you mentioned your cousin, but I think another important point is this actual organization that you have been involved in. Can you tell us a little bit more about this? Because I think people, if they take a look at the website, will be also inspired.
Yeah. So GCI is an important like phase in my whole life. And for everyone who is watching this live right now, go and check it. It is really amazing, especially because this organization promotes like active citizenship. So if you want to be active within your society and you want to improve it, go into that organization. You will have the opportunity to give your like ideas and to be innovative and actually to even work on yourself, to work on your communication skills and to like fix your flaws. And that's what I have earned through my experience with GCI. So go check it. It is really important.
And I think what Hakima and both Maria Teresa and you are saying, and this is kind of one of the things, as I was looking at the website, this was one of their mantras. There's one of their goals is service to humanity is the best work of life. And I think if you find something you enjoy, you'll never work a day in your life. And I think that's
right.
really important. So using English as the vehicle to do greater things. Is that what you? Okay. And let's now talk a little bit about someone also that has been inspirational to you.
Yeah, now this is my favorite part. So, Mr. Riyadh, if you're listening to this, I embrace having you in my life. He's the best teacher ever for me. He has been a supporter. He's always there for me. he's always pushing me to the limits. And whenever I need him, I will just find him. Especially his story actually inspired me. And that's why I am really concentrated on my goal. His story made me really strong. And the best thing about him is that he doesn't see me as a rival, because we're given the same content on social media, but still he's always there for me. He always proposes even topics to me. So if you're listening to this, Mr. Riyadh, you're the best teacher ever, and I embrace your presence in my life.
Now, and again, I think if we went back, I know that Hakima a little bit earlier, we're going to listen to her in a couple of minutes, talked about her teacher in high school when she was 15 years old. That was dynamic. Now, was Riyadh the type of teacher, again, open the book to page 29, we're going to read the simple past tense. Was he that type of teacher?
No, he wasn't. Actually, he was innovative when it comes to his courses. And that's what I liked about Mr. Riyadh. Even sometimes it is like a grammar lesson, so it is boring. But he would say, oh, this lesson will change your life. Well, it isn't. It doesn't. But his courses are really fun. So...
Well, maybe he was saying, in the moment, this will change your life. And maybe in that moment you thought, how would that change my life? But it sounds like that idea of being dynamic, of your interest in participating in that organization, the Junior Chamber International, is the idea that maybe in that way he inspired you.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at some other comments that have come in here. Semia says, felicitación. Riyadh says, thank you. That's Mona says, wish you the best, Sirine. Keep it up. And Manal says, very nice. So those are really comments. You mentioned, again, your family, your brothers. Oh, what is that? Wasaf and your other brother. And then your cousin helping you through some difficult times. And then you mentioned about this organization that may be tapped into your skills and abilities so that you can serve humanity better. And I think that's one of the focuses. And Luciana says, wish you the best. Great comments from that. And what we're going to be doing is, just so you know, we're going to be bringing you back in a few minutes with the others. Wasef says, you are the best, Sidine. And again, he promises, I see a message. I can read his mind. I promise to study English and learn English just like you. All right. Again, expressing gratitude to teachers is very motivating. And yes, anyone who wants to share a motivating comment about their teacher, please do. She says, really impressed by your accent. Bravo. Well, great. So, Sidine, what we're going to do is we're going to put you backstage, and then we're going to bring you up for a few closing comments, if that's okay. So thank you for sharing, Sidine.
Bye-bye.
All right. So let's now bring back on Hakima. Hakima, here we go. Again, I think your story is so important to this conversation. So let's go ahead and begin and making sure everyone can hear you. Let's just start with your introduction, and then I'll be checking the comments to make sure that you're heard.
Yeah, can you hear me now, Randall?
I can hear you perfectly. I could hear you perfectly before, but for some reason, some of the connection was not as clear. So let's go ahead and begin talking a little bit about your personal introduction again.
Again, from the very beginning?
Yeah, right from the very beginning. We want to hear it all.
Okay, then my name is Hakima Hidri. I'm a teacher of English from Tunisia.
And they can hear you. We're great.
Okay, great. Okay, I've been teaching English for 21 years now. Okay, so.
Yeah, and you're from Tunisia. Again, Sidine is from Tunisia as well, and that's wonderful. And again, you're seeing some comments that are coming in. Yes, we can hear you. Yes, the sound is good. All right. So that's great. And again, thank you everyone for your patience. Being on a broadcast like here, can be a little nerve-wracking, but I think your story is so important, Hakima. And so let's go ahead and talk just a little bit about your life in terms of language education, because a lot of people, they don't go into, you know what, I'd like to be an English teacher. But your life, let's talk about a teacher that had an impact on your life when you were in high school.
Okay, as I said previously, Randall, I took the decision of becoming a teacher of English when I was only 15. Then I was introduced to the English language by a teacher who was different and who really made a difference. He was really dynamic, cheerful, and always smiling. He made learning fun. We used to wait for his sessions to take a rest or a break from the busy timetable. I remember Mr. Riyad Ben Isa used to move, if you like, between the rows. We used to talk to every, if you like, pupil, though we were quite a large class, about 35 pupils, but he used to devote, if you like, enough time to every pupil. I remember that we were not, if you like, afraid of making mistakes. He always says that we are learning, we can, if you like, ameliorate, you can do this better. I'm sure, and if you like, I'm sure about your abilities, etc. So he really shaped, if you like, my personality. He built my self-confidence, and he put me on the path of learning English.
Now, you mentioned a lot of things there. The idea he was very dynamic. Right? He just didn't open the book and say, "Let's look at page 39." You said that your class was, you said your class was large, like 35 students. And that idea of walking around, that increases that human connection as well.
Yeah.
All right. And then you mentioned about self-confidence, of boosting your self-confidence. And those are all great. So when you were 15, you realize you wanted to be an English teacher? When I was 15, English teaching was probably number 275 on my list of possible professions. So what happened next?
Okay, so I really continued my, if you like, continued learning English at college. Okay, and I really enjoyed, if you like, learning the English language, thanks to professors, great professors at Manuba University that I want to greet them also. But you know what, Randall, I never thought of how it could feel when I'm becoming a teacher in class. And it came the day when, if you like, I was hired in a school in a nearby, if you like, town. The first session and the first sessions, days or a week, let's say, was a real nightmare for me.
Okay, so describe that. You said the first week was a real nightmare. How old were these students? How many were in the class? And in what way was it a nightmare? Because I think a lot of teachers feel this way, like, whoa, what's happening next?
Okay, so they were teenagers, I remember, okay. The class was quite large, okay, let's say about 30 pupils, 32. When I entered the class, all of them were looking at me and waiting for what I'm going to say. In reality, I wanted to escape.
And that would be really hard. I think working with teenagers is sometimes like having a bowling alley in your brain. So much is happening and it can be really, really challenging. So you made it 1 week, and then what did you do?
And then I gathered my belongings and I headed for my home. I told my parents, just forget about it. I'm not made for teaching. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to return back to that school. Just forget about it.
Now, let me ask you, when you made the decision and you were packing up all of your belongings to go home?
Sure. Okay,
Did your parents know you were coming home? Or did you just show up?
No, they didn't. Okay, I was complaining via phone from time to time. But they never thought that I'm going to leave everything behind and return back home.
And that would be really interesting. So what did your parents say then?
I felt that they were really disappointed. My father, of course, tried to encourage me. And by the way, my father, as I said, is a primary school teacher. and I see that he was patient with his own pupils for many years. He tried to convince me, but I think the influence of my mother was much more, if you like. My mother is a housewife, but she wanted us to be successful, especially me and my, if you like, sister. She wants us to be strong, powerful women, to be successful. Then she looked at me and she said, Hakima, you are really smart, intelligent. You've always been successful. How could, if you like, many other teachers do it? And why can't you do it? Just give yourself another chance. Okay, so of course, it was a weekend, and I thought about her words. I returned back to that school, not really very motivated, but later on, another person another person stood by me, okay, and encouraged me, maybe without even knowing that he did so, okay. He was my advisor, Mr. Ali Souli, okay. From the first, if you like, meeting held by Mr. Ali Souli, he talked to us novice teachers and unveiled our feelings. He said, I know how you feel, you are not experienced, so don't worry. He reassured us, and he, if you like, introduced us to senior or experienced teachers via demo lessons. And then we started, if you like, I'm talking about myself. I started, if you like, building my self-confidence, and I started working on that, if you like, a new person, Hakima, the teacher. Randall, normally teachers feel like stressed and worried when advisors or supervisors visit them in class. It was just the opposite for me. I really feel comfortable when Mr. Ali Souli pays me a visit. You know why? Because he was recharging my energy each time. He says, I have confidence in you. You are doing a great job. You are making a difference. I'm sure you are going to do much more better than this. Okay, so he made me love my job. And you said a word previously about loving your job. When you love what you do, it's no longer a job. You really enjoy what you are doing. And I feel that I'm doing something noble, and I'm working on that.
And it sounds like in this experience with your mom and your dad, returning home, feeling like a failure, your father and mother encouraging you, talking about your advisor, you experience maybe a rebirth. It's kind of like I'm seeing things from anew. I think is a wonderful story. And I think a lot of students as well can take heart in knowing that I'm not a failure. I need to look forward and try to do the best I can, even if I take small steps.
Sure.
Let's take a look at some comments here. Here we go. We have Uma says, I'd like to show gratitude to my teacher, Miss Zakia, who inspired me a lot in secondary school. She was very kind and serious. She was innovative in the way that she treated us and made us all feel love in her class. I hope I will see her again. Another greetings from Argentina. It's great to see. And Mona says, oh, my dear Hakima, when we reflect back on those first moments of teaching, we just laugh. And again, Hakima, I see that smile. I think all of us can look back and say, oh, man, I wouldn't want to go back there. But it was a transitional phase to help us. Would you say you have to laugh a little bit about your early years?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Here is, let's see here. Emery says, I was honored to meet Ali Souli once. He's so encouraging and nice. Elif says, at the beginning, I hated English, but thanks to Mrs. Sama, was that Sameh? I changed my mind. I like the way she taught with a lot of passion and love. She switched my opinion from hatred to passion. And now I'm an English teacher thanks to her. And that's grateful to hear these stories. Another one, Luis says, great story, Hakima. Yosra says, Hey, from Greece, proud of Serene. Again, we're getting comments. Confidence is getting by experience. So you mentioned, Hakima, that experience that you gained over time. Another person, Emery, says, so proud of you, Hakima. You're such an inspiration. Wow.
Yeah,
So is that someone you know then?
Yes, she used to be my pupil, and she's really brilliant, if you like. Little princess, I call her, because her name is princess.
Yeah. And Madhya says, Hakima Hidri, how energetic you are. Greetings. My perfect teacher. Is this someone that you know as well?
Yeah, he's my pupil.
Oh, well, it's great. Great that many people are sharing in. And I know you, Hakima, well. I know how brilliant you are during the years of university. I'm sure you will succeed, and you are succeeding. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Hakima. What I want to do now is I want to bring back all of our guests for our final few minutes. And again, thank you, Maria Teresa. Thank you, Hakima. Thank you, Serene. A wonderful opportunity to share. And what I'd like to do is give all of you an opportunity to share final comments. Again, any of you that are watching the broadcast as well, we like to hear from you. We like to hear the praise of people who are making a difference. So my last question to Hakima and Maria Teresa and also to Serene is, what makes an inspiring teacher? We've heard a lot of comments. We heard of your experiences. But if you could sum up whether the teacher is a parent, a friend, a mentor, or actually a classroom teacher, how would you sum up what is an inspiring teacher?
May I say something?
Yes, Maria, absolutely.
That's what I said. When you love what you do, you never go out to work, So I think that teaching is something really not different, but you have to enjoy people. You have to love what you do and to share your knowledge. So you have to be patient because everyone learns in a different pace. Sometimes you have students in class that some of them love English, the others, they don't like it, so you have to make them together in the same level. So I think that having an overview of class, understand the difference of your students, that's what makes the difference. And to be understanding, to be passionate, and affectionate to those students. And also to be patient and to make each one learn and not love, but at least those ones enjoy the class and be part of that. So you treat them on the same way. So you have to be interested and enjoy your job, be a teacher.
Right. I think loving what you do, being passionate. And Hakima mentioned when you, Hakima, went into that class, there could have been some students where your class could be the only safe place they know. And realizing and being patient and open is great. Thank you very much, Maria, for sharing that. Hakima, Serene.
So I totally agree with Maria, actually, because being a teacher has to be something really good, not good, but loving your job is something important, and especially communication skills matters when it comes to teaching people, because everyone is different. So you should know how to communicate with those different categories of people, and that's on developing your communication skills and loving your job, of course, which is teaching mainly.
Great, thank you. And Hakima, the last word.
Randall, in order to be inspiring, you don't really need to be perfect. You need to be real. You need to get closer to your pupils, to talk to them, to love them, respect them, and then, of course, to be a good listener. I think these are simple things, and anyone can do them, and then you can inspire the people around you, either your children, your family, or your pupils.
And I think you mentioned, I think all of us would agree, is that one of my favorite books is called The Gifts of imperfection. The author is named Brené Brown, and the idea that we can learn from our weaknesses, we can learn from our mistakes and grow as a parent, as a friend, as a mentor, is what I think our message is here today. Let's take a look at any last comments that we have. Again, Isef says, again, Elef says, thanks for choosing such an amazing topic. Samaya says, there are some inspiring pupils too. Absolutely. I mean, how many times have we learned from the people that we teach and associate with? So important. Hi from Tunisia. Proud of you, Sadine. And Aneza Henda says, you must put yourselves in your students' shoes. So again, when you think you're having a hard day, they might be having a hard day as well. Emira says, an inspiring teacher is one who makes his pupils believe that to a greater or lesser degree, they are all achievers. That's what we're all saying. Also to praise them from time to time and push them as hard, not push them over a cliff, but push them to be inspired. Oh, a number of comments. Let me see what else we have here. Luciana says it's important to understand your students' needs and support their learning in an engaging way. Absolutely. I think that's so important as well. I want to thank my English teacher, Mrs. Mona, for spending all of her valuable time teaching me. You've been you're so much more than a teacher. I think all of us would agree. I mean, it's not just the name teacher, but a mentor and supporting. And Shamin said, when you teach with honesty and love, your job as a teacher, and treat your students friendly, that is from my experience as spoken English in Yemen. Again, teachers are always inspiring. So I want to thank all three of you for joining the broadcast today. You've been certainly inspiring to all of us.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. So again, thank you very much for joining the broadcast today. We appreciate your experience. We appreciate your patience with that little hiccup at the beginning of the broadcast. Feel free to share some additional comments that you have after the broadcast of people that have inspired you in so many different ways. One other thought to keep in mind is that, again, the broadcast that is coming up, if you're a teacher and you want to participate in this teacher swap shop, please contact me as well. Again, we're seeing a number of comments that are still coming in. Passion, love, and commitment are keys. We see more congratulations. Carlos, this has been a wonderful experience. And certainly we want this to be a wonderful experience for everyone. So thank you very much for joining the broadcast today. One of the things that I find is that I always want to thank viewers, students, teachers, for being a part of this type of community where people can share. I mean, in reality, it is your voice that makes the world move. Signing off for now. Again, have a great day and an even better tomorrow.